Or I thought you're riding high with the Browns today.
Oh, I am riding high. I'm just saying in general with the weather, right? So when you have bad weather, it levels everything because you have turnovers and things like that. I do have on that particular day. I do have confidence in the Browns because of things that have been said about them all week. Not the trash talk, but just the idea of they have no chance. These are grown men. They have a chance. They have elite guys on defense. They can get a turnover. Now, some things have to go right, but I am very high on them, and I think they have a chance to win today.
All right, so you're not even talking 12.5 points, or 11.5 points. You're just talking just straight up winning this game. I tend to think it's the AFC North games. You kind of just throw the record books out. You throw everything out. In the AFC North, we've all just learned this. The idea that anything can happen in AFC North football games. If I've had $1 for every time I've done a pregame show here, Coach Riz, and I've been like, this team looks that much better than that team, and we're talking about an AFC North squad. This works both ways, by the way. There's been times where the Browns have been that much better than the other team, and I'm like, there's been times I thought they would go in there and just wax the Steelers, for instance, when the Steelers are starting Mason Rudolph or Duck Hodges or one of those teams, and you look up and it's like it's an AFC North game. AFC North games, just weird things happen. Am I expecting a weird thing to happen today? No, I am not. I'm not living on that side of the ledger, but I've seen it happen so many times. Everyone listening has seen it happen so many times. To discount it and discredit it is something that I think a national person would do. I can't do it, and it sounds like you can't do it either, Coach Riz.
Well, yeah, and especially when this is not the 1-31 Browns where you don't have talent at certain positions. So obviously defensively they have to have guys who can run. Browns do. They have to have a pass rush. The Browns do. Browns need guys who cover. They do.
I know, but I'm scared of the offense is the problem, Coach Riz. The Ravens have scored 30-plus points in 12 of their last 15 out of their last 18. They've gone over 45 total points. This is not just an offense that works. This is an offense that hums on all cylinders. And so the scary part for myself today is I feel like some Browns fans, if you're looking to try to do this glass half full, I can appreciate that. I really can. I think a lot of Browns fans are thinking that the copy and paste of what happened last week with Joe Burrow is going to happen with Lamar, and I just don't know that that's going to be the case. This Ravens offense works on a different level, and from a talent perspective, Coach Riz, I hate to glaze them up here on a Sunday because that's not what I'm trying to do, but from a talent perspective, I don't know that there's a team that has more talent collectively than what the Ravens have.
Well, yeah, and Todd Monken does a great job with the offensive scheme. Now, for me, it's not this. It's totally different between last week because of the scheme. Joe Burrow's a pocket guy. They try to get 5 guys out. This is a very powerful offensive line. That would be my concern. Just those young guys inside, Malik Collins, Graham, those guys like to play the run. Those guys like to rush the passer. Now they're going to get a physical run game, so they're going to have to hold up. And, I've heard all week, Joe Flacco's going to have to make some plays downfield. Yeah. Or they do what they do last week and they keep it out of Lamar's hands. So I do think they need to take some shots. I think they need to run the ball better. I think Quinshon Judkins helps. He doesn't solve it. The offensive line's got to play better. But if they can get 4 yards and kind of create some pass run options for that, Flacco on second down, right, where you can throw it or run it, and then you get those safeties down, maybe you can take a shot over top. Without the run game, they will struggle today. They have to run the ball a little bit. But to say that, that would be the difference. This is a totally different scheme. This is the Bengals have great players, but the Ravens have great players in a scheme that kind of hurts the Browns. They're powerful. They're going to get big doubles. They're going to go 2 tight ends. They're going to run multiple personnel sets. So there's a difference today.
Yeah, there's 100% a difference. And I feel like we talked about, you're a big matchups guy and what favors a team in a matchup. When you look at the matchups for the Bengals, a lot of it worked. A lot of what they do just kind of plays into the Browns' hands. With the Ravens, it's never really been that way. It just really isn't. Even to the idea that Lamar Jackson is as mobile as he is, to the idea that Derrick Henry doesn't even really need a great offensive line to be as powerful as he is. Like there's so many things that when you just try to match these two teams up, it's like Myles Garrett can get after Lamar. Lamar can just run away. We've seen it time and time again. You almost neutralize or take away some of the advantages that the Browns have.
Well, that's a running quarterback. Any running quarterback really hurts a defense at any level. And then you have a guy who can throw it well from the pocket like Lamar. I'm really high on him last couple of years, his ability in the pocket. But again, I think the Browns defense, when they got those really good corners with Emerson and Ward and Newsome, what they thought in the pass rush, this was a defense built on the pass-happy NFL. The Ravens are giving you something different. Ravens are giving you that, but they're giving you...
But that sounds nice in theory, but then there is no Emerson right now, and I really enjoyed what we saw in Newsome in week 1, but maybe the advantage here is that last week they shut down Joe Burrow, but they also shut down T. Higgins, and they also shut down Jamar Chase, right? Neither one got more than 40 yards. With this Ravens team, D-Hop is there, but it's Zay Flowers. He's the number one guy. You watch that Sunday night game against the Bills, it was Zay Flowers was the one that they were targeting over and over and over again. And so from that perspective, I don't even know that the corners are going to be the biggest key to any of this. And if that's what the Browns are trying to build this on, then it just doesn't match up. Again, it just doesn't match up.
Well, I will say this: they match up. They don't match up very well up front with the scheme, right? Because they like to be one gap penetrators that can allow you to get double team. So again, it's the scheme. But once they've been told all week they can't do it, and that's what it really comes down to me. So there's a lot about scheme. I know I'm a football guy, and it's a lot about scheme, but there's also a lot about winning your matchups, winning your matchup inside. Can Graham go against Falele, who's 360 pounds? What is his answer to Falele when Falele's trying to drive block?
I'm sure he can. That guy sucked last week.
So, correct. So you have to.
Falele, more like Olele. Am I right, guys?
Wow, I see what you did there.
That was bad. Don't worry.
That's all good though. So I just don't think some of the matchups are good. Some of the matchups are bad. But at the end, is can you win your one-on-one matchup? And I think they can. I think they're better inside. The Browns are better inside. Now, I think the key for me is what is the plan for Lamar on third down? That's where the loss of JOK kills him.
Well, and that's what we'll find out if Schlesinger can fill that gap just a little bit. With Quinshon Judkins officially set to make his NFL debut today, what exactly is the expectations for Quinshon in your eyes, and what do you think is going to happen? Because for myself, I'm not expecting anything more than, 7 to 10 carries. Like something you said last week kind of stayed with me all throughout the week as I was working with Nick in Afternoon Drive. The idea that pass protection is the big key, right? Pass protection is getting him up to speed. That's how he's going to be able to showcase that he can stay on the field, deserves to be on the field. The actual running portion of it, that's second nature. He can do that in his sleep.
Well, yeah, 7 to 10 carries I think is a great call, but that pass protection is crucial, especially if, one hit, a quarterback could be gone. So that's very, very important. Also, that game speed. You can say whatever you want. He hasn't been in a game yet. And when you're in a game, that adrenaline drop of those first 3 or 4 carries, he's going to be tired. So I think what he does is give everybody more than physical, probably just a mental boost.
Okay.
I think he helps Joe Flacco. I think he's heavier. I think he can get some good runs in there. He does give you you're feeling good that you got your guy who you thought was going to be your bell cow back. But if you're expecting him to fix the run game, that's not the case. It's that offensive line that has to fix the run game. They have to be better at their double teams, and they got to make sure they block the linebackers on the second level. Those are things that'll make this run game go.
Have you heard my offensive line theory yet?
No, let me hear it.
Okay. Dwan Jones?
Yeah.
Too skinny.
Really?
Too skinny.
Well, see,
he lost too much weight. He got thrown around like he was a sack of potatoes last week. What the hell happened to Dwan Jones? Only thing I can account for is the man lost 65 pounds, and maybe he isn't the refrigerator with the helmet that we thought he once was.
Well, I think
he looked bad, Coach.
Well, there's going to be a fine line, though. But that weight he was carrying, that's why he got hurt, in my opinion, right? You can't carry almost 400 pounds.
It sounds like we got ourselves a problem here, don't we?
Yeah,
if he's not the same player he was that he sat at with 400 pounds and it goes downhill because he's too skinny, I don't know. Is there a happy medium we can get him to?
Well, I want to see the footwork first, right? Let's see. He had to go from right to left. Let's see if it was more footwork, because if your footwork isn't well.
I would imagine, though, even trying with losing all that weight and everything, your footwork is going to be off because you're not used to being able to play as skinny as he is. So I would imagine you'll grind the tape and you'll be like, yeah, but his footwork was trash. And I would contend back to you, yeah, his footwork is trash just because he's playing 50, 60, 70 pounds lighter than he's ever played.
But when you play lighter and you're not, so I think it's a great thing.
It's not just lighter. It's not just like, hey, I lost 5 pounds and I didn't do a buffet on Saturday, so we're in a good weight. Like, it was like 70 pounds.
But when his feet are so close right now, and that's what I see out of it, because you're right, he did get tossed around and he did look light. But you once your feet are together, if you don't have a shoulders width base, you're light. You're not strong. You have no balance. So I want to see that improve before I say he can't do it.
Yeah, was he ever actually strong, or was he just 400 pounds?
But he doesn't weigh 260 now. He's not a 240
I know,
pound
but
left tackle.
He lost a lot of weight. We both saw Dwan in person and was like, what happened to Dwan Jones? Was it Ozempic? I'm not sure. I'm not here to judge. I don't care. Take whatever you want to take. But he looked very different.
He did have some, what do you say, olele to him a little bit last week. So I want to see it consistently. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt until I see it today, because he's going to see Owe and he's going to see Mandoy. Those guys are big, strong guys. So
if this continues, that's my theory. An argument. That's what I'm going to go down with. Right. So you're right. Obviously, the offensive line needs to be a little bit better. I think everyone can agree with that. But when it comes to Judkins, he's 7 to 10 carries. I think some people think he's going to be Emmitt Smith day one, and I just don't think that's reality either. I hate to be the guy that just continues to point out some of the flaws in the thinking around this Browns team. I think there's a chance that Quinshon is very, very good at his job. I think there's a chance that we look up 6, 7, 8 weeks from now and it's like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. But I just don't have that expectation for week 1.
Well, and I think Nick Chubb kind of spoiled everybody, because what the Browns do in this 12, 13% when they run the ball, so much in the NFL is like if they have 6 in the box or 7 in the box, With Nick Chubb, it didn't matter because he made that 6th, 7th guy miss. I don't know if Judkins can do that. So they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit to kind of loosen that box. And now it becomes more of, when you had Nick Chubb, it didn't matter. The Browns ran it against any look. They didn't care if it was a bad look, 14 in the box. They didn't care. And that's what a great back does. But there's only a couple Derrick Henrys, Nick Chubbs in the world. So they have to be balanced. So when people say that, Joe Flacco needs to take some shots deep, really it comes down to balance. They need to make sure that they can do things both in the run game and the pass game. If not, that defense kind of just takes one away, and then you're stuck.
We'll get your phone calls in a second at 216-474-0092. Let's hit you with the game plan. That's brought to you by our friends over there at Romeo'sPizza.com, the official 92.3 The Fan tailgate show choice for pizza, wings, and more. Romeo'sPizza.com. All right, Coach, hit us with that game plan.
Well, defensively, I think you got to take away what Lamar does best. You got to minimize his feet on 3rd down. You got to take away 3rd down running from Lamar Jackson. Now, is that Schlesinger? Is that Delpit? I'm not sure, but they got to make sure they take away his feet and they mix it up so he's in the pocket. Now, he's very good in the pocket, but it's the less poison. That one will kill you slower than if he's using his feet. Offensively, they got to take some shots. They have to take advantage of those. If they can get Judy away from Wiggins and get him on that 2nd, 3rd corner, whoever those may be, I think they have to take some shots deep.
Okay.
That starts with the run game. And then obviously I think everybody talked about Fannin. Njoku is still at a very high level, especially run after catch. So they have to obviously work those tight ends, but they got to get Njoku the ball in space and let him work because Kyle Hamilton is outstanding, and people will not agree with me.
Fannin made me forget about Njoku last week, and I constantly look at Njoku. I'm monitoring him all throughout the game, not only because he's one of my favorite players, and he's one of my favorite Browns players. Actually, you know what? I'll just say it. He is my favorite Brown player from the previous 8 years, taking Baker Mayfield aside because Baker's not here and hasn't been here the entire stretch. I always look for Njoku, and he made me forget about Njoku in that game.
Well, and now you use them both. Right, so now if you're going to
they were in 12 personnel 50% of the time,
which is what we expected. And but now you're going to find those matchups against. And I love Kyle Hamilton, but he can be beaten cover. He can be beaten coverage. He's like a Delpit, really good down by the line of scrimmage. Find those guys against.
Well,
safeties.
he got toasted against the Bills. I mean, that wasn't Josh Allen. That wasn't even close.
So they put Malachi Starr. He's a rookie kid from Georgia. He's a really good
Hamilton's still. He's a 2-time All-Pro. He's still very, very good. It's just. He looked really bad against Josh Allen. A lot of people look bad against Josh Allen. To put it in proper perspective, people, though, he was one of the worst corners in the league last week.
Well, and for me, that comes down to, obviously, Josh Allen's elite, but that's not his strength. His strength is a football player. So down the line of scrimmage, making a big play, making a big tackle, being around the football. But in coverage, he's very beatable in coverage. He does not cover. He's a big, tall guy. He does not move his hips, does not transfer his weight very well. So attack him. Attack him in the pass game. Keep him away from the line of scrimmage. Attack the rookie.
Between him and Humphrey, I have no problems with that being the game plan.
Well, and I like Humphrey, too. If they're going to, you saw him last week, they put him down in the box a bunch. So if you're trying to run the ball, find Humphrey. They have him as that 3rd linebacker in nickel. Find Humphrey at 200 pounds and run at him. If you want to improve this run game, find the matchups, find the numbers game, find where you can win in the run game. That's at Humphrey. They had him down inside a bunch last week.